Okay, Capricorn, this is going to be your March monthly reading. I'm going to do a simple cross reading for you today. Okay, you, for the reading this month, are going to be represented by the Two of Swords. What the Two of Swords really points to me is that there is some kind of information, some kind of truth that you're really having trouble orienting yourself to. Do you really want to acknowledge the truth of it, or do you really have trouble moving into what are the ramifications of knowing this new thing? Like emotionally, how is this really going to affect you? And that you're maybe having some stagnancy over, like, I don't know what to think about this, so I'm gonna have a seat. Kind of like this person is sort of like they've got the information, but looking forward is not something that they're pursuing right now. And the crossing energy for that is the World card. So what this really looks like to me is that you're seeing the end of something. You're seeing how you are a new person in some way because of some information, and you really are having trouble understanding how you're going to integrate that into your self-understanding of who you are or how you show up in the world. Your focus for the month is going to be the Four of Wands. So that could mean that something is maybe threatening some stability that you are enjoying right now. The Four of Wands can really be about the stability of an idea that you built this thing and you don't want it to change ever. You pursued this thing to a point, and this is like as far as it needs to go. But with the Four of Wands, it's all about acknowledging that while you may have achieved something, it's not the end. It's not, park it and stop sort of energy. It's about acknowledging the thing you achieved and being able to move into something new. So it might just be a little bit of the stagnancy that you might be holding on to and not knowing how to move mentally forward with. The space that you're moving out of, or the recent past, is going to be the Two of Cups. So this might be something about a relationship, as far as like you thought you had the thing all wrapped up and you had the thing figured out, and with this person we were going to be this way and we're going to be this way forever. But with the World card coming in, that's kind of like, okay, knowing how you did this, what's next is what you're being called to, which is the nature of life. Nobody's staying the same way forever. As far as your unconscious in this situation, you got the Knight of Cups. So that really points to something about this is making you feel a little awkward, a little uncomfortable about how you pursue things. Maybe in this relationship that you're considering right now, there's like a new way you're being asked to show up for this person, that you are like shaky about, and you're like, well, we had this thing, like it was great, why do we have to do a new thing about it? But what you're being called to do is to acknowledge the information that you have, that like it can't stay a certain way forever, and that you got to move forward, and that this is making you maybe like emotionally uncomfortable about not knowing how to move forward. But your subconscious, being the Knight, you know you need to move forward. The energy that you're moving into is going to be the King of Wands. So this really points to you have the ability available to you to really make what you want happen in a really like passion project sort of level. It might just be the emotional part that's sort of tripping you up, but you know that you can make happen what you want to make happen. You have the ability to create the kind of relationships you desire, but there's like little parts of the emotional side of how you relate that is like messier than you want it to be. You want it to be clear and a little more straightforward. So moving into that King of Wands, knowing that you have this ability, don't let it overshadow the development of these new things that you're learning emotionally about yourself in relation to other people. In your attitude towards the situation, you've got the Queen of Pentacles. So that really points to me that you are channeling these cups, feelings and emotions into something really practical and understanding like, okay, I can find ways to cultivate this in a really practical strategy to make the environment I desire, which is not wrong. Those things do contribute to your overall situation, definitely, and you have the power to do those things. But in your surrounding energy, you've got another cup card. You've got the 8, which really points to that there is something in this potentially awkward emotional atmosphere that you are at the point where you know you need to move in a direction, leaving some portion of it behind. So whether that's you see how this relationship that got to this 4 of Wands level is pointing to something old, that feeling of wanting to wrap it all up in a bow and be done, and acknowledging in this 8 of Cups that it's a journey. It's building something new with someone new is never going to be a cut and paste of what you've done before. You're always going to be developing a new way of knowing, because you're always going to be developing as a person as well as the other person is. Your hopes and fears. This Knight of Swords really points to me that this is moving faster than you want it to. Either, you just thought you'd have more time at this, maybe this like honeymoon phase or whatever, and things are starting to get more complicated than you thought they would be at this point. But your fear is that it's just moving too fast for you, and you want things to be more measured and more predictable. Your eventuality for how that will turn out potentially is the 6 of Pentacles. So I think this is really about considering in your fears and your hesitancies that are happening in this situation. It's really about balancing you and other people in this scenario. So maybe this points to considering how the other person in the relationship deals with things. What are their strategies? What are they working on? And kind of seeing where those things are overlapping for you, and how you can create a little bit more equity with how you attack a problem together. Let's look at the bottom of the deck and see what other energy we have in this eventuality. Okay, we've got the 5 of Cups. So that really points me back to maybe there is part of this Four of Wands, that you're holding on to, wanting the stability that is really getting entrenched only because there's some past disappointment that you haven't let go of yet, something that you haven't given the proper honor in feeling your feeling about it in order to move on to the next phase. And you've gotten to this Eight of Cups energy around you because it's like other people know that you need to let go of this thing too, either the person you're in relationship with, or, you know, some friends or someone else is trying to reflect back to you that, like, okay, this thing that's in the past, you've got to feel it and you've got to let it go. I'm going to do 3 more cards just to get a little more clarity on that 6 and 5 up there for the eventuality. Okay, we've got the Alchemy, the Wheel, and the 5 of Swords. So this definitely points to me that this is not an entirely internal thing that's happening with Alchemy, which is Temperance, and the Wheel of Fortune. It's really about, like, the tides, the winds are shifting, things are changing in the outer world and energies around you that are bringing up these new feelings, and that focus on that stability is really just not accessible anymore as things shift and change in the wider world. And that might be the part that you need to do this 5 of Cups this morning, to release, to let go these feelings that you thought it was going to be a different way. And that 5 of Swords points to that that might not be the way that other people perceive it, but you've really got to work with your truth and understanding how you can center your knowing, and how you can work with the different elements that are coming towards you, and being able to release this disappointment and work towards this collaboration with this other person, and understanding your different strategies in order to work towards a goal together of, you know, how you want to move forward as things change around you. What's going to be the give and take with how you look at change together.